Never. Okay? And so what is the fairy tale? The fairy tale is the life highlights,
Yes.
The accomplishments, the promotions, the life achievements that you're most proud of. So I could go and I could talk about my husband and I could say, we've been married for 22 plus years. People are like, woo! We've owned our own business for 5 years. We have 4 sons. 2 are in college. 2 are still home with us. Woo! They're doing well. Awesome. Ooh, I love them. What else? What else we got? My husband, he works as a construction superintendent for like the largest, or if not the largest, one of the largest construction companies in Chicagoland. Woo! Andrea, I have my
Dr. Doula.
Yes, I'm Dr. Doula. I assist women in childbirth. I'm also a birth mentor. I'm also an educator. Woo! I have my doctorate in
she's so sexy.
Educational. Come back. Educational leadership. My specialization is curriculum instruction. Woo! What else? We could just go on and on. All the stuff that we said to you already, the stuff you can read on the website, that's the fairy tale. That's the part that's told in the story.
On paper.
But I don't often talk about how my mother passed away 3 months, like suddenly, 3 months before we got married. We got married on Mother's Day, and she wasn't there for that. It was 3 months before my graduation. She wasn't there for that. Just suddenly. That's a part of my story. I didn't put that on Front Street. What else have I not put on Front Street?
The time it was tough for us to when I got downsized.
That's a good way to say it.
Came home from work one day with a whole bunch of construction material.
I was like, why you got all that stuff? I think I'm going to be working in the basement. I'm going to build you something. And I'm like...
I come home with the message like, I don't have a job anymore.
For a year.
Yeah.
I believe that was. That was tough. That was really tough. Coming home and deciding to homeschool, being on one income. Now people think that's a very noble thing. Oh, you homeschooled for 13 years. It was not popular. It was not popular for Black women.
Yeah, that's right.
And because it was in the 90s, I was often ridiculed. I was told I was lazy, that I refused to help my husband. I used to always say, well, why don't you all say that? I'm listening to all these other women. They're being celebrated. Why aren't you celebrating me for being home with my sons? And people would actually say, oh, Black people don't do that. That was very hard, not really having support for homeschooling my sons. Now they think it's wonderful. I put that on my resume, right? And people say, I want to do what she did. Really? But do you really? Now you have, support systems. They have all kinds of online curriculums and groups. But back then it was really tough. It was tough for us financially because we had gone from me making more money actually to just depending on his salary. So it was cut more than in half. That's the reality. I remember times when, it was only 10 years ago when we were spending $75 every 2 weeks for groceries.
Yes.
And we made it work. $150 a month for groceries, believe it or not.
It was tough.
It was tough. I made it work. I made some things happen, baby.
Yes, you did.
And
the golden skillet.
And then $25 for, like, if we wanted to treat ourselves to pizza every 2 weeks or something, we could do that, but we did not go out to eat. We did not do any of that. And that's not particularly glamorous when people want to talk about what they see now. So that's the reality in our fairy tale. And 9 times out of 10, anybody that you say you admire, they have a reality in their fairy tale. There's a FaiReality tale. And what I want to encourage you to do is to ask more about those realities. It is great to start admiring people, but we all go through things. You didn't, FaiReality, the fairy tale is never the whole story.
Exactly. And also to realize that the reality is what builds the fairy tale.
Yeah, that's very good.
It is. So if you're actually armed and equipped with that tool to understand the importance of that reality, then you begin to learn that there is a part of that story you have to or would consider embracing that would actually elevate the time when they do get tough.
Absolutely.
And you begin to realize and say, hey babe, this is just probably part of our reality that we're just going to have to muscle through, knowing that times are going to change.
Definitely. I mean, it's something that's very, very real to me. The whole FaiReality thing is very real to me, because it's like you said, they're building blocks to get to what others see as your accomplishments. It's like when you look on a resume and you see that so-and-so completed an undergraduate degree in this, a master's in this, PhD in that. It looks great on paper, but what that means is they were in school for probably, 15 years to 20, 15 to 20 years.
Exactly.
They were working hard and they were completing coursework required for those acknowledgments of matriculation through a university at a certain level. The paper will never show it all.
Right.
And you have to learn how to appreciate what the paper says, but to go deeper and to be people who go deeper than just what you see on the paper.
Very good.
Just go deeper. If you can observe it, then that's just part of what you see on the resume. You won't ever really know what they went through unless you talk to them, unless you can see it. And when you're dealing with, let me also encourage this before we go, it's really easy to think that somehow whatever mistake someone else made, that's dumb. I would never do that. You have no idea where you will be, what you will do.
That's right.
Take humility with you.
Yes.
As you're asking people about their realities, and as they are willing to share, be humble and understand and know that you don't know where they are. You don't know all of their story. You only know what they're telling you.
Yes.
And be willing to, it's an old saying, eat the fish and spit out the bones.
I was just going there. That's right.
Eat the fish and spit out the bones. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. But respect their story.
Yes.
Respect what it is. It might not be for you. Respect it.
Yes.
Anything else from you?
That was it.
All right.
FaiReality.
FaiReality tales. Get you some.